Don't you think I'm gonna be impartial on this one? um, Spiral Knights. That's like um, that's like a childhood game for me, at least. Some people I don't think were still child at that time, and some I think wasn't even born. But yeah, for me that's a childhood game. It got released um, in 2011, I believe. I started playing maybe around that time, maybe a little bit later, like 2013, something like that. Um, so don't expect me to like weight the good things and the bad things about this game, because yeah, childhood game and childhood memories. Um, so yeah, this game was like a cooperative game. You could play with three other friends or three other random people, which is like what I did for the most part. Like I think I had someone else I played with, but the other two slots of the party were for random players. And I would also obviously, um, when this one friend wasn't around, I would friend this one friend. From where that came from. um, so when this one friend wasn't around, I would just play with three other random people. So yeah, the game was still like fun because it was like the goal was really straightforward, but I'll get to that later. So this game started as a browser game, I believe, but I think when I started playing it, it was already like a installer game. Like you had to download the installer and install it, and then run the program to be able to play it. Um, and it's like you have these characters, like these cute characters, which I really like about this game because the graphics are still great. Like it's a 2011 game, and the graphics are still hold up because they are not realistic graphics. They are like stylized graphics. Stylized? I think that that they have a style, a proper style. Um, like when you read a manga, if it's not realistic. You have like the characters with the big eyes, crazy haircuts, and it will be good in 100 years if you read like something released um, 50 years ago and something released in 50 years. It will still be great because again it's a style. So this game has a lot of style. Like the characters, they are made of this energy material, like kind of an energy material. I don't remember the lore about it, so maybe I'm totally wrong. But like, if you search about it, you like look at the background image. Um, they are like a color, and then their eyes is like a brighter version of that color, like more neon, which kind of gives this idea of a energy material. Their bodies are like made of energy, and like the eyes kind of let go a little bit of that energy. So you would create your character, you would name it something, and then you would be set to explore the world. I believe like the when you get to the game, like you create the character and you hit play, you're not um, you, sorry about that. You are not let in the open world. You are let in a stage you need to clear before you get to the open area with other players. Um, so you do that. Um, I remember that I got lost once because I was a kid when I played this game. Um, and at that time, my English comprehension was starting. Like I was starting to learn stuff. Um, so I got trapped in this first section of the game, even before I could get to the area where the other players were. Um, but yeah, I don't remember why, but I remember that I was thinking that I had soft locked the game somehow. But then like I created another character, tried again to do that initial stage, and I got to the open world on the second try. So yeah, again, my English comprehension was really bad, and this game helped me a lot with that. Um, so like back in the day when I was your age, 80 years ago, back in the day, um, Google Translator really sucked. Like you would type a sentence on it and it would translate everything really, really literal, like in a literal sense. So like if you type it something like, "Oh, the airplane fly away," it wouldn't translate it like fly as the act of flying. It would translate fly as the animal, the insect. So I remember having like this type of problem with Google Translator, and I was like, wait a minute, that can't be right. um, but yeah, so it was a really bad Google Translator that I had, and a physical dictionary. that's how that's how I played this game, and I had fun with it. So you had like three weapons you could choose. Um, like you could choose two of them to play. But if you wanted, you could like use only one. Um, so how this game worked is that when you got to the open area, there would be the arcade. And the arcade would be, how do I explain? Um, you get to this area, the arcade, and there would be like four elevators. And you could look at the elevators to see what levels you would be playing. Because the goal of the game, or at least the arcade part of the game, is to get to the level, I don't know how much it is, but I think it's like 25 or 30. So you get to the arcade, there will be like four elevators. You go to one, look at the settings, and it would display the levels. So level 1 you would fight in a forest. Level 2 you will fight in a forest too. Level 3 you have the boss of the forest. And then there would be some instance where there would be two options. Like let's say level 4 you can get either the demon city or you can get the haunted mansion. And then to level 5 would be the same. Like you can get the, what did I say? The Devil City or the Haunted Mansion. But you could also get a third option, which would be like a bonus level. And how it worked? It was like there was a timer. So you get to the third level, you defeat the boss. So going back a little bit, in the arcade there was the four elevators. You chose one, you would go down one level. And then the goal was to find the next elevator, because the elevators would only go down one level. So you would have to explore the map to find the next elevator that would make you go down one more level. And then you would have to fight in the map and explore it to find the next one. So when you got to like a level where the next level would be like two options, let's say the same example, you fought the boss of the level 3, you got to the elevator, and then you have two options, the Demon City or the Haunted Mansion. And how it would work is that the game has a timer. Um, like I don't remember how much it is, but let's say it's 2 minutes. So you get to the elevator, um, and then you would have an option, like let's say the Demon City. 2 minutes after, the elevator would change to the Haunted Mansion, and 2 minutes after it, it would go back to the Demon City. And the same would happen with more options. So let's say there is 3 options: Demon City, Haunted Mansion, and the bonus level. So you would get to the elevator. It would be in one of the 3 options, because I believe the timer starts counting when you get to the level. So you get to the level, this timer starts counting, and then you find the next elevator. And it will be in one of the 3 options, depending on how fast you cleared the level. So let's say it was in the Demon City. Then if you don't take the elevator, 2 minutes later, it will be the Haunted Mansion. And if you still don't take the elevator, 2 minutes later, it will be the bonus level. So there is like this aspect, like you can wait a little bit to like not play a level you don't like, or like play a bonus level, but it's a time that you will be doing nothing. And I kind of abused of that system because there was like 2 levels that I didn't really enjoy it, which was like the Haunted Mansion, because if I remember correctly, there was like these giant ghost things. The ghosts are really cute too. Like the ghosts are like cat ghosts. So it's cute. So there was this giant cat ghost that will chase you, and it's like one hit kill. If they touch you, you will die. And if you're playing solo, that's a big problem, because no one can revive you. You can still like pay the chorus and get revived at that spot, but yeah, I didn't pay it because I was a kid. I paid on other games though, but not this one. I don't remember why, because I really enjoyed it. Maybe it was like the prices that were too high, or like you wanted to get like a clear advantage, like you would get items that you would had to use, like the revive item. Like in other games, I remember that I paid for like characters and like extra ability slots, because there was a shooter game that I played that there was like the 3 characters, and you could pay something and buy another character. Like it would just change the visuals, but it was like something that it would stay with me until the game closed. And then there was another game that was kind of like of a dungeon crawler, something like that. That the free accounts would have like 4 ability slots, and then if you paid, you would unlock extra 4 ability slots. And then I got that too. While on Spiral Knights, it would be just like items. So you pay and you get like the item that revive you. Although there was like, I think there was a way to like buy equipment, but then again, like I would buy an equipment and then progress in the game, and the equipment that I bought with real money would worth nothing. So yeah, what we what was what what I was talking about? The levels I hated. Yeah, I went on a tangent. talking about the cash shop. So yeah, the levels I didn't enjoy, which was the Haunted Mansion that had the one-hit kill enemies, and I also didn't enjoy it much of the Demon City. It's like a this level was like a abandoned city, and there was like these demon figures. I don't remember why I didn't like it. Maybe it was because some of them had like ranged attacks or something like that, and that was a problem for me because I used the sword. Um, and right now I remember that I talked about having three different weapons, but I didn't talk about them. So you'd have like all of them would have the shield. And the shield, the way it worked is like you press the button, the character raises the shield, and it protects you from every angle. So you don't need to like the attack don't need to come from your front for you to block. You can block attacks from every angle, but then uh, when you get hit multiple times, the shield would eventually break, and you would have to wait until it recharged. So yeah, every weapon had the shield. And then you had the sword, which is the one that I used. You would have like the normal sword attacks, and you would have charge attacks, which would change depending on the sword. You would have also the gun, a gun, um, and bombs. The bombs was cool, but I didn't saw much use because you can like clear an area of enemies, but that's all. Like around you, because the character like starts charging the bomb, and then he places it on the ground, and the bomb explodes. So you can like clean area of enemies real fast, but um, I don't know. I just didn't like it. Mostly, I believe because not like there was like one level that maybe it was useful. On every other level, I don't think I ever got like trapped in between enemies, so I would have like an empty area behind me. So if the enemies started accumulating, I would just go back a little bit, switch from the sword to the gun, and start shooting to clear the enemies. So yeah, you had like these three weapons. And then in the Demon City, you would have range enemies, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Like there would be ranged enemies, and since my preferred weapon was the sword, you can see why I didn't enjoy it. But I liked it more than the Haunted Mansion, because the Haunted Mansion you can't kill uh, the these big ghosts that will kill you that will kill you in one hit. Um, so yeah, that was like the that was the game loop. You choose an elevator, which I would like. I would always choose the ones that didn't have the those two levels, like the Demon City and the Haunted Mansion. And then once you choose a level, the goal is to get the lowest possible. But then there was the grind, which was the worst part of it for me. The equipment would have tiers. So you would start with a tier 1 equipment, and then you would progress until you got to the tier 5. Sorry for that. And then the levels were locked behind those tiers. So to progress, let's say there was a lock every 5 levels. So you get to level 5, you need to progress further than level 5, you need to have a tier 2 to progress further than level 10. you need to have a tier 3. And how it worked is that the game would give you some recipes. Sorry. The game would give you some recipes after you progressed a little bit for you to craft. So let's say you start the game with a tier 1 equipment. When you get to the level 4, the game will give you recipes for a tier 2 equipment. So you can progress further than level 5. So you go back to the open world. And in there you can craft the equipment, the tier 2 equipment, go back to the arcade, and now you can progress further than the level 5. So let's say you get to level 9, the game rewards you with recipes for tier 3 equipment. You can progress further than level 10, so you go back to the open world, craft the equipment, and then go back to the arcade. And then it keeps repeating. And of course, every time you had to go back to level 1, there was like a checkpoint somewhere, but I don't remember where. I think it's like level 15. So like you get to level 15, and then if you go back to the open world, you can like skip the 14 prior levels and start and keep continue from level 15 above. But I don't think like there was checkpoints every 5 levels. I think there was like 15 and then 25, something like that. And the problem of the recipes were that they required materials. So the game would award you the recipes to craft the equipments, but then you would need materials to craft the equipment. And to do that is where the grind began. So you'd have to like keep. There would be 3 options. You could pay with real money. You would deposit money into the game, go to the cash shop, and then buy the equipment you needed, the materials you needed to forge the equipment. So that was an option. There was the grind option and the game currency option. The game currency would be like you keep playing the game. When you clear levels, you would be awarded with coins, in-game coins, and then you could go back to the open world and trade the coins for the materials you needed. And there was the killing enemies option. When you killed enemies, there would be a chance to be awarded the materials that you needed. So like these 2 other options you would be doing simultaneously. You would go to the arcade, fight enemies, and when you were fighting enemies, you would have a chance to get the materials, and you would also get the coins that you could buy the materials and then craft the equipment. And that was like the general loop of the game. And I don't think I ever got to level 4. Maybe like, because this game is now on Steam, and I looked at it, like the achievements I got, and there is like the tiers achievement, like craft a tier 4 equipment, craft a tier 5 equipment, and I got the achievement up to the tier 3, craft a tier 3 equipment. So I don't think on my character, if it still exists, I don't think I got like past tier 3 because of the grind. And I had like 200 hours into this game, so the grind it's really bad. Although if if I kept playing on the same account from like 2011, I would probably already have finished this game. Because like in 2011, around that time, because the game came out that year. So around 2011, I had an account, and then I think I lost it somehow. And um, when I got a little bit older, I tried the game again on Steam, and like I had to start again from scratch. And I'll probably start again from zero because I don't remember nothing about the game. And it's really like it not it's well it's not like this it was just a second. It was not that word that I was thinking. It's a really interesting game. Um, so there is like sure starting over or lose progress, but like it's a fun game. So there is um, no real downside of starting over because like the loop is still the same. If you're like a high level player or a low level player, you will still be going to the arcade area um, to fight enemies. So nothing changed much. Like only the level you're playing. Like low level will be at level 1 and the higher level will be at like the bottom, which right now I don't remember if it was like level 25 or level 30. So yeah, I have no clue how this game is still on like the servers because it's a 2011 game. And every time I like thought about going back to it, I was just thinking like, well, why should I go back to this game? What if like I started playing it again and then they closed the servers on the very next day? And I'm thinking that like since 2018 and the servers are still on. Even though like you go to the Steam DB page and it says like there is 100 players online. Like we can do the this test right now. So Spiral Knights, it have 135 players right now playing the game. On the last 24 hours, on the last day, the peak was 172. So let's say every hour there is 172 new players. Like it's not always the same people. Um, they rotate. So 172 times 24, it's 4,000 players, which I don't think is enough to to keep the servers on for a free-to-play game. So yeah, I obviously there is also the players that don't play through Steam because you can download this game from the official website. You don't need to download it from Steam. So there is some people playing that way, but like I don't know. I feel like Steam is more popular, um, so more people would be playing through that, and like it's easier to find the game because to find your website um, you need to know that the game exists, so you search it for it. But on Steam, it's like you can be browsing some games and Steam can randomly recommend you this game. So you don't need to know about the existence of it. But I don't know. Last time I played it was like 5 years ago, or even more. Um, um, so yeah, maybe they still make money, but yeah, I don't know because it's like a free to play game, and only 4,000 at best, only 4,000 people played. Um, so yeah, that's Firelights. Um, uh, if I recommend it, sure. There is like some puzzle elements to the game too. It's not like it's not only like you get to a level, um, you hunt everything, every enemy, you get to the next elevator. It's not just like that. There is some levels that has some damn. There is some levels with puzzle elements like um, there is gears you need to turn. There is like keys that you need to have to open gates. Um, there is like buttons. There is like there is this giant button that everyone needs to stay on top of to be able to press. That's a really nice detail. They do that for boss fights. So you get to a boss fight arena, and there is this giant circular button on the middle of it. And to be able to activate it, um, everyone on the party have to be on top of the button at the same time. So they did that because because you are them. Sorry. They did that because you are in the boss fight arena, and everyone needs to be there because they close the arena. They don't leave it open so you can run away. They close the arena, and that's it. You have to kill the boss. You can't go back. So when everyone is on top of um, the button gets pressed, and then like gates um, rise from the ground and like trap the players with the boss. And that's an interesting detail because like um, it has a gameplay function, which is the one that I just explained, but it also can like add to the lore of the game because like it's a giant button. You need everyone. You need the weight of every character and every equipment they have with them to be able to press that button. So it's kind of funny to see that. Um, so yeah, like you can carry objects. So there is that element. Like you just you don't like get a key and it gets to your inventory. You need to carry the key, and that's like this game is this game is beautiful. I just even though it's old, um, like your character raises his both hands above his head, and then the object you are carrying get is like stays floating above him. Like it's kind of funny. Like when you get an item on Zelda, like Legend of Zelda. So Link will like his with his hands showing the item. So it's kind of like that. Um, yeah, it's a fun game. Like besides like the grind, but you can always like stop playing if you get bored of it and come back to it later, and your progress will be there. I know that because I had like a really old character that was still alive. Like I stopped playing for a while, and then years later, I came back and my character was still there. Maybe they changed it. I don't know because I still didn't play the game. And like the characters get deleted after a certain amount of time, but I don't believe that's the case. Um, so yeah, that's Pyro Knights. Go play it. It's it's fun.